Just the same way that we have watched on this clip, uh, it kind of tell us as well um, some of the issues that we face in marriage that escalates from one problem to the other. Uh, the story here is that the husband buys the lady a beautiful teddy bear on Valentine's Day. Uh, and of course, the wife loves it. She's really, really happy that he got the card. The teddy bear. And at the same time, the he sent the card with the teddy bear and beautiful poem, and he signs the card. But the woman, when she found out that the guy did not go himself buy the teddy bear, she gets mad. And on top of it, she doesn't even know, the guy doesn't even know that what the card was saying. So he just signed. Now, it creates a bit of misunderstanding, and I often feel like that's how women react. Instead of them focusing on the big picture, which is to get you something nice, they're trying to focus on the details and create a problem out of something that was great by intention. And tonight I want us to have a different type of understanding. I don't see anything wrong that the brother did, but for for a woman perspective, that seems to be offensive. So I don't know about women, how do they function and how do they get into that, but
Ok. C'est pas vraiment évident. Comment est-ce que c'est ta femme?
It's not evident as she's your wife.
Comment est-ce que tu n'as pas le temps pour ta femme?
How can't you have time for your wife?
C'est un jour spécial pour la femme.
It's a special day for the wife.
Et chercher quelqu'un pour la trouver une carte.
And by you finding someone to just buy her a card.
Non seulement tu n'as pas le temps de faire quelque chose pour elle.
Not just you don't have the time to do something for her.
Et tu n'as même pas le choix sur ça. Donc, ce n'est pas toi qui as vu, c'est quelqu'un d'autre qui a vu.
You don't have also the choice over it.
Donc,
but at the same time, I really believe that, isn't it better than not giving you anything at all? Or does it make it worse that I gave you something, but that thing, just help me here?
Non, le problème, c'est mettre le temps pour moi.
The problem is the time you spend for me.
Les cadeaux, c'est pas un problème.
The gift is not a problem.
Mais le temps que tu as disposé pour moi.
Your time that you avail for me.
Our brothers are listening. You see, so it really. Can you open my mic a little bit, Cedric? Can you open my mic a bit? So, I really feel like the issue with women is always tied to the emotions behind whatever you do. So it is not just about the flower, it's about your thought behind the flower. It's not just about a bag you buy, it's always about the thought behind. But for men, the way we are programmed, if not the way we function, is that we focus on what is there and don't focus on the story behind. But at the same time, if you will be in a relationship, you really have to understand that women are emotional beings. There's always have to be an emotional connection. The story behind whatever that you are doing. And I really believe that for the past time that we've been married, I'd done some stuff, give her gifts that she didn't kind of like get excited as I thought she would get excited, simply because of no emotional, as if like somebody gave me a watch and I can't wear that watch, I give it to her. So for her, it's like, why are you giving this to me? I'm like, I'm your husband. But for her is that it had to be a personal thing that you did, and that's how I really believe that it's quite important that we understand that there's really difference between the functioning of a man and the functioning of a woman. Now, in this conversation tonight, we want to go through certain things, and first we want to take it before we got married. What are the things that she liked about me, and what are the things that I liked about her? So she begins.
Ça, c'est avant le mariage ou bien dans le mariage?
Before.
Ok. Une chose que j'avais jamais aimé, c'était tu étais boring au téléphone.
The thing that I didn't like about you before marriage is that you're too boring on the phone.
Déjà, j'étais loin, j'étais au Congo, tu étais ici.
I was in Congo and you're here.
Quand je t'appelle, oh, je suis à l'église.
When I call you, no, I'm at church.
Oh, je sors.
No, I'm going out.
Donc moi, je payais mes unités, je me disais, tu vas m'appeler, tu n'appelles pas, c'est moi qui dois appeler.
So for me, I was like, I have to call you all the time.
Et je t'appelle, tu dors, ton téléphone est par
I'm
terre en
calling
silence.
you, you are sleeping and you can't hear the phone ringing
Et
because you're in silent.
des fois, tu ne rappelles même pas.
And you can't even call me back.
Ça jaillissait trop. C'était vraiment...
That was really something that I didn't take in.
La seule chose que j'aimais plus chez toi,
The things that I love the most
c'était l'amour que tu avais pour moi
was the love you had for me.
et la facilité de demander pardon chaque fois que tu avais tort.
And the way your ability to ask for forgiveness every time you're wrong.
Et les matins, tu disais, ah chérie, je m'excuse, j'ai dormi, le téléphone
You
était
know, you woke
tombé.
up in the morning and say, no, darling, I was sleeping and my phone fell off the bed. I couldn't hear you.
I was like, comment est-ce que ton téléphone peut tomber seulement
How
comme
can your
ça?
phone can just fall off when I have to call you?
Et tu sais que je vais t'appeler,
And
tu
you
laisses
knew
ton
that
téléphone
I'll
en
call
silence.
you. You leave it in silent
Tu
mode.
étais où et tu faisais quoi?
Where were you and what were you doing?
Donc, c'est un peu ça.
Should I explain myself or should I tell my father's story? Okay, so I explain myself and then I give what you see, the thing about me is that back in the days, I'm always lazy to talk on the phone, but I can text for hours. So calling always bores me.
Mais ça prend le temps, ça prend le
And the-
But you write a text, it
l'appel,
takes a lot
c'est
than
facile.
calling.
And the thing about her, she didn't like to text. She liked to call. So calling was, you are stopping every other thing that I want to do and only focus on talking, because I'll be texting and do any other things. But if I'm talking on the phone, and I am a person that really doesn't talk a lot as well. So that kind of like, at the beginning she didn't get that, but at the same time, it was really, really annoying her, and she'd really be upset. And, well, you want to fix it up, ask forgiveness, and move on as quickly as possible. I am not the type of person that will really like to stay on that subject and for hours and hours and hours without having to resolve it. But I'm a type of person that really want to move on relationship. What I liked about her when I met, number one was just a sense of maturity that she had. I think that is what made me attracted to her. Not what she was wearing, not what she had or whatever. But as I really believe that really what made me fall in love with her was a sense of maturity, because I really believe that if I want to be able to work with someone, I want to be able to work with someone that can be able to take responsibility for whatever that is going on. If it's a wrong that they'll do, they can take responsibility. They can be able to take charge over the emotion. So I really believe that if she is married to me today, I really believe that is mainly because of her part in maturity. And I really, really believe that is how, that is really how I feel. Something that I liked about her. And the second thing I liked about her, it was a love for God. You know, many people in our generation and many people in our time did not have the interest in, the genuine interest in the things of God like she did. And very early in her life, she was really committed into prayer, committed into leading, committed into doing many things in regards to the work of God. Not because she wanted to be a pastor's wife, but because was who she was. And I just came along into making sure that became a reality. So these are the two things that I really believe that if she's here today with me, it's because of her maturity and because of her love for God that really transpired to me. So going to this next step was a challenge with long distance. Long distance. She was in Congo, I was in Joburg. And I didn't travel home that much. I went home at least once a year. That be those days when we will close the church for holidays. Bless God for those days. We'll close the church for holidays, and then everybody was leaving, so there was no point for me to stay behind. So I traveled as well. But at the same time, getting into that, so it was quite challenging because just as she mentioned, she would try to reach me, and I'm a type of person that like to sleep early. For some reason, I really love to sleep early. So she was in an environment where you can't go to sleep before midnight. And then she tried to call me at 10, and mostly at that time, 10, I am way gone. I am fast asleep and stuff. So she would try to call me and call me and call me. And those days, I believe they had specials with calls. So it had to be a certain type of hours. And then she could talk for me with me for many hours. But I really believe that it was just that communication type of thing. And as well as certain things that when you hear them from far, it really makes matter worse. That was a personal challenge for me. Often she will get sick, and then they will call me that she's sick or she fell or she fainted and stuff like that, and I'll be here freaking out. But it wasn't that serious on the other side. So long distance was quite a challenge, but guess what? We're here. So long distance for you.
Oui, c'était vraiment difficile.
It was really difficult,
Non seulement pour les appels.
not just for the calls.
Des fois, tu as envie de sortir, tu es seul.
Sometimes you want to go out, but you're alone.
Des fois, tu veux aller quelque part, tu es seul.
You want to go somewhere, yet
And
you're
then,
alone.
c'est comme si toi ici, tu enjoyais la vie. Tu
But if
étais...
you're here in Joburg, you're enjoying life.
Donc, pour lui, c'est comme si ça lui faisait rien. C'est comme s'il
For
ne me
him, it
manquait
was like it
pas.
was just fine.
Bon, moi, je souffrais, je me disais, tu me manques.
Yet I
Mais
was suffering that I miss you.
des fois, je t'appelle, moi, j'avais ces soucis-là, je me sens seule. Mais toi, non,
You know, I was
c'était
calling
bien,
you,
on est sortis, on est
worrying,
partis
I'm
au
alone,
ciné.
but you're like, no, I
And I
went
was like,
out, I went
this
to
guy.
the cinema and all that. Like, seriously?
Il ne sait pas ce que ça fait être amoureux ou quoi.
Maybe he doesn't know what is it to fall in love.
Donc, c'était un peu compliqué.
It was kind of complicated.
Les appels,
The calls,
le week-end.
the weekends.
Bon, au Congo, on ne sort pas trop.
In Congo, you don't go out
Déjà que
often.
dans l'environnement où j'étais toujours entourée des mamans, donc on ne
In the
sortait pas.
environment where I was, there were a lot of
Si
women,
je sors, je
so
suis à
I couldn't
l'église,
go
tout ça.
out.
Mais
yet
quand je
going
t'appelle,
to
tu me dis
church.
j'étais au ciné.
But when I called him, he was always at the movie.
Tu étais au ciné jusqu'à 22h.
Up until 10 in
Tu
the
étais avec
evening.
qui?
With whom?
Long distance always make people assume things that are not even there. So
Bon, chez nous, au ciné, on a le seul ciné
Because
Betamax.
for us, the only
Donc, quand tu
movie
pars au
theater
ciné,
we
tu
have
n'es
is
pas seul, tu as
Betamax.
quelqu'un.
You don't go alone
Et à
there.
22h, tu me dis, je pars au ciné, je m'ennuie, je pars au monde.
No, I'm bored. I want to go to the movie.
Et là, je me disais, ok. Mais le ok là, ok, juste
I was
pas.
like,
Mais
okay,
3
just
jours,
to
on ne se
say
parle
it.
pas.
But I wasn't okay.
Donc, c'est pas vraiment évident. C'est ça.
but I really believe that if we're able to make it through long distance relationship is because there was that sense, behind all these complications, misunderstanding, she'd be upset with me for 3 days and no calls. But, you don't already see each other and, and you don't call each other. So it just makes things more complicated. But I really believe that if we are able to make it through, was that at some point we always had to find a way to talk about it.
Yeah.
And eventually I stopped going to the movies.
Avec les amis, il avait les 3 amis là.
And eventually I stopped going to the movies, not because I wanted to, but because she was always angry when I would go to the movies. I think she wanted me to
feel the same way.
Yeah, to be in the same situation as her. She can't go out, I can't go out. Even if I have the opportunity to go out, I don't want to go out. So it was like, I want you to share the same outcome as I. If I'll be like, well, I feel good. I wanna go out and just eat and I mean, I those days I really love to go out, so I'll just take my time, put on a nice suit, put on a nice tie, just go enjoy myself in a beautiful restaurant just by myself. But she'll be like, she doesn't get that. She doesn't understand that part of me loving myself, loving my time, and just go indulge the. Sometimes I'll be dressed up for no reason, and she'll be like, "Where are you going?" And so I'm not going anywhere. I just feel like dressing, and she could not understand that. Why will you dress up and then be like, you don't want to go nowhere. So, but I really believe that it was that part of communication, and then eventually we've been able to build a lot of compromises in terms of things. But I really believe that I did most of the compromise because, it was mostly accommodating myself to her. So I stopped going to the movies. And every time I will try to go somewhere, I'll make sure that I text her. In case you don't reach me, listen, I am here, and so forth and so on. But now my friends did not understand that because, like, she's not here. Why would you have to text her to tell her that, you're going out? Because it's not like she's going to see you out or whatsoever. But I really began to really value that I am not by myself anymore. I'm in a relationship with somebody. So if something had to happen to me, I want to make sure that she's not worried about where I am and so forth and so on. So that was quite an issue. So from that long distance challenge, she's in Congo, I am in South Africa. And at that time, I've been living in South Africa for at least 6 years or I believe 5 years or so. No, even more. Maybe 7 years or so I've been living in South Africa. So there was so much of cultural change within me that I didn't realize. And then she is coming and she has to integrate within my culture. The culture of doing things, and most importantly, the church. And I really believe that if you're going to be in a relationship, you want to help your spouse integrate your environment. You must never force the person integrate an environment that they don't feel ready to be in. And I really believe that when she came in, I needed to give her time in order for her to learn how we do things, to learn how we work here, to learn how I carry myself, and at the same time give her a chance and give her time to be able to integrate easily. Because what I found out is that many people want to force others into environment where they don't feel ready to be in. I had a cycle of people that I had relationship with. I had a cycle of people that I could talk to, but maybe it was not a cycle. And as she was coming, I needed to give her a chance to integrate within the environment. The same thing happened as well when I had to go to Congo to to see her, and maybe when I'm on holidays, she will have a certain group of people that she will want me to meet, but at the same time, she didn't have to force it on me because, well, these are the people.
Et tu n'aimais pas, hein? Tu voulais pas les rencontrer.
Yes, you didn't like to meet those people.
Donc c'était toujours les mamans, que je parlais avec les mamans,
It
toujours
was
la
always
prière.
the mothers.
And I was like, but you are
always
a pastor. Just
But
join us. I want to go to the mountain. Let's go together. I was like, no.
You see, so I really believe that was quite an issue when it comes to our side, is that my personality did not really allow me to. I'm not an easy person to integrate different groups of people, and especially the type of groups that she had. Nothing wrong with that, by the way, but it's just that I want to be myself in an environment, and I don't want to be uptight, like, be very protocol, mind my words and stuff. I mean, she was hanging around with mothers who are like 5 kids, and people that have been married 25 years. I'm like, what am I going to talk with them? I want to be in an environment where I'm like, myself, and I can talk, our common language at the same time. But I really believe that she understood that she did not now begin to force it on me, because, I mean, at the beginning, that would really be a major fight, like not physical fights, by the way. Arguments in terms of what integration is all about. She wants me to be here, but I don't want to go. Not because I don't like the people, but I don't see myself in such environments. I would like her to meet certain people, but she's like, by what? I don't even know them. What are we going to talk about and stuff like that? But as we are growing in relationship, I really believe that integration became quite an important part. So we began to make compromises. When she came, we'll meet certain group of people that she ended up loving, she ended up liking, and she ended up, they were not just my friends, but they became our friends. And there were some of her friends as well that did not just become her friends, but became our friends and stuff like that. So that really becomes quite an important part. I don't know.
C'était pas facile l'intégration, surtout avec l'église.
It was not easy with the integration, especially with church.
Si je dois parler de l'habillement,
If I had to talk about the dressing,
au Congo, on a une certaine façon de s'habiller.
in Congo we dress up differently.
Et quand je suis arrivée en Afrique du Sud, I was
And
like,
when I
really?
came here in South Africa, I was shocked.
Et puis c'était en décembre.
It was in December.
Donc quand tu es dehors, tu es à l'église, c'était la même chose.
So as you're outside of the church or in church, it's the same thing.
Et moi, je digérais ça mal.
And for me, I didn't take that well.
Donc toi, tu digérais ça parce que
For
tu
you,
connais
you
la
were
culture
okay
ici.
because it was the culture.
Et moi, pour l'église, de voir quelqu'un qui
But
s'amène
for me,
comme
at
s'il
church,
partait à la fête, comme s'il
Someone
partait
to
dans
come
une
into
boîte de
church
nuit.
like as if they're going to a nightclub.
Et je digérais pas ça.
I didn't
Et
take
chaque
it.
fois, je te disais, non, ces
And
gens-là
every time
s'habillent
I'll
mal.
come to you
Non,
and say,
Esther,
these
prends les
people
dents,
don't
ça va aller. Je dis,
dress up
non,
well.
c'est
They say,
l'église,
no, it
non,
should be
c'est
well.
l'église. Donc pour moi, je disais, ok, tu tolères beaucoup.
For me, I'll say that you tolerate a lot of
Bon, il y a
things.
certaines histoires que je ne pouvais jamais accepter.
There are things that I could not accept.
Ben, je n'avais pas les pouvoirs de faire quoi que ce
But
soit.
I didn't have the power to do
Je regardais.
so. I would be just looking.
Parce que ma nature, il y a certaines histoires que je tolère, surtout quand ça vient l'église.
In my nature, there are things that I can tolerate.
Quand il y a l'habillement, quand il faut servir Dieu.
When you have to serve
Il y a
God,
certaines histoires
you're
que je ne
dressing
tolère
up.
pas.
There are things that I cannot tolerate.
Et des fois, je sais que tu ne tolères pas, mais tu ne sais pas parler.
And sometimes I know that you don't tolerate yet you can't
Tu es
talk.
tellement large en patience.
You just have that big heart
Mais moi, je ne suis
and
pas comme ça.
patient. Yet I'm not like that.
C'est vrai, c'est la culture. Je dis, même si c'est
True,
la
it's
culture,
culture, yes, but
mais ça, c'est les choses de Dieu.
these are things of God.
Il y a certaines histoires, on ne va pas seulement
There are
patienter.
things that we can't just have patience.
Mais oui, j'ai patienté.
So I became just patient.
Et une chose que j'ai aimé, tu m'as pas vraiment forcé.
One thing I didn't like is that you didn't force me.
Ok, là, tu dois faire ça, tu dois faire
That
ça.
you have to do this or
Tu m'as
that.
vraiment donné le temps, ça, vraiment, j'ai aimé.
You gave me that time.
Mais maintenant, je n'ai pas la pression de prêcher en anglais. Hein.
Even now, I don't have
I
the
don't
pressure
have
to
that
preach
pressure, no at
in
all.
English.
If I can preach in Swahili, I can go for that. As long as people can understand my preaching, I don't have a problem. Thank you so much for that. Donc, c'est la culture. Ça n'a pas été facile l'intégration, oui.
So it was that culture and the integration.
Parce
of
que
it.
quand tu arrives, certaines personnes ne t'acceptent pas,
Because when
certaines
it comes,
t'acceptent.
some people don't
Parce que
accept
tu veux mettre
you,
certaines
others
histoires qui ne marchent
can't.
pas. Pour eux, ça
Because
ne
they
marche
wanna
pas, mais
bring
pour toi, ça
some
marche.
stumbling block. For you,
Qui
it
est
works.
bien pour Dieu.
That is good for God.
Mais qu'est-ce qu'on fait?
But what do you do?
On tolère, c'est la culture, c'est l'Afrique du Sud.
It's South Africa, it's the culture.
On peut s'amener à donner à l'église, c'est l'Afrique du Sud.
We can come with your top that is almost topless.
Et ça, je ne tolérais
And you see,
pas.
it's a culture.
Bon, c'est la culture. Qu'est-ce qu'on fait? On s'intègre.
What do? We just
Mais
integrate
ce qui
ourselves.
est bien, je ne me suis pas vraiment intégrée dans leur culture, pas du
But what
tout.
is good is that I didn't
J'ai
integrate
gardé
myself
ma
in that
culture
culture.
congolaise
I kept my
et
Congolese
je sais que
culture,
ça, c'est évident.
and I know that is an evidence.
Et je pense aussi que
I also think that
des fois, il ne faut pas vraiment se laisser vite fait se plonger, même si la culture est bonne ou quoi.
sometimes you don't just let go because
Des fois, il
the
faut garder
culture is
ses
this or that.
originalités.
Sometimes you keep your origins.
Et si tu dois être fière et forte,
And if you want to be proud
ce
and
sont tes
strong,
originalités si tu les gardes.
it is your origins.
Si tu ne sais pas les garder,
If you can't keep them,
donc tes originalités, c'est que tu es vraiment patient, tu es vraiment
then
large,
you're
tu es
just
tellement
so big
courtois.
and patient.
Et mes originalités, c'est qu'il y a certaines
And
histoires
one of
que
my
je ne tiens
origins
pas.
is that there's some things that
Je
I
dois vite
cannot
réagir.
tolerate. I
Et
need
ça
to
peut être
react
un
to
problème,
it.
bien sûr, c'est un
And
problème.
it could be a problem, yes.
Et des fois, j'essaie de me battre avec ça.
And sometimes I try to fight
Espérons
with
ça
them,
va aller, je vais changer la culture.
trying
Mais
to hope that
not
culture,
now.
but
I still have 20 years.
So, I really believe that as well. Like when we deal with relationship, culture becomes very important. You know, for most part of people that are living in Johannesburg, they have come from different places, and then either inside provinces, in homes, like we call them, villages and stuff like that, and then they came to look for a better life here in Johannesburg. And you will hear often that when people get into Joburg, they change. You know, Joburg changed people. Women, especially women, used to be respectful when they were back home, and then when they get here, they totally change. They don't longer respect and stuff or value what is happening. But I really believe that your culture is your wealth, and it's your value. Like the sense of respect is not just a culture thing; it's a principle thing. You can't say that well, I'm an independent woman or I'm an independent man, so I can do whatever that I feel like doing and stuff like that. I care for my own happiness and stuff. But that is not the right attitude into bringing somebody into your into integration and stuff like that. So there has to be a great value that we place on culture, that we place on certain positive values of the places where we are from. And as much as I am for the emancipation of a woman, as much as I'm for the freedom of a man and stuff like that, the liberty to do whatever thing you want to do, but I really hope and believe that we don't get to lose the core values of our cultures into the metropolitan system in which we live. I make my money, you make your own money, so that's your thing. I go wherever I feel like going and stuff like that. And you see, there are women that will just like Okay, I'm going out. Where are you going? No, you don't need to know. Are you paying for it and stuff like that? So, that type of attitude becomes really a problem because even when you are making your own money, and it's your own money you're going to go spend or whatsoever, I really believe that it is very important that the aspect of respect is always instilled in the values of our culture. Just as we have watched our mothers respect our fathers, just as we have watched our fathers respect our mothers, I really believe that has to be a very important aspect of us building relationship. And just as she has mentioned that, I did not force certain things on her, is because I also believe that she has certain values that are very important, and I prayed she doesn't lose them, so she becomes like other women that I did not like, or the other women that I did not have to go out with, because based on those cultures.
Et je pense que c'est important vraiment aux hommes
And I just
de
believe that
laisser
it's
la femme
important
être
for them,
telle qu'elle est.
for women to be her,
Ne pas l'imposer certaines histoires
not to impose
par rapport aux
certain
gens que tu
things
fréquentes.
based on
Parce qu'il y a
what the
certains
people
hommes,
that you
ok,
go
tu
out
vois
with.
les femmes de tes amis
You look at the wife
être
of your
comme
friends
ça, ou
to
bien
be
s'habiller
like
comme
this
ça,
or dressing
et tu
up
commences
like
à mettre
that.
la pression sur
So
ta
you begin
femme.
to put pressure on your
Ça,
own wife.
c'est pas évident et ça va jamais marcher.
That will never work.
Si c'est ça, elle est comme ça, elle a été éduquée comme ça,
If she was raised that way,
il faut jamais mettre cette pression-là.
then don't put that
Parce
pressure
qu'elle
on
peut
her.
faire ça juste pour te plaire et après quoi?
Because she can just do that
Elle
to
perd
please
ses
you, then
valeurs
what?
qu'elle a en elle.
She lose her
Et ça
values,
devient un problème sérieux.
and it's become a real big deal.
You see, like she just said, that sometimes we put unnecessary pressure, whether it's on the husband or whether it's, you as a wife, you look at your friends' husbands, the type of houses in which they live, then you come home and say, what are you doing? And I mean, are you wasting our time? Because I looked at all your friends. Look at the houses they live in. Look at the cars they drive. Look at the clothes. Look at their kids. Look at this. Look at that. And then you begin to have unnecessary pressure for nothing. And then the question I'll ask, do you want me to go steal?
No.
Do you want me to go deal drugs? Do you want me to do certain things? So I really believe that becomes an important aspect in us trying to be happy and content with what we have. Of course, I will always be excited for somebody that is doing so well in their life, but at the same time, I want them to inspire me and not to create pressure upon my relationship.
Mais puis c'est les hommes qui mettent la pression. Ce sont les hommes qui mettent la pression sur les femmes.
But there are women too.
No. Most of the time, it's men's. You remember I told you the story. Pourquoi tu peux dire ça à ta femme?
How can you say so to your
Prends
wife?
le temps, arrive à la maison.
Take time, get
Si tu
home.
veux ta femme s'habiller comme ça, paye quelque chose.
If you want your wife to dress up somehow,
Nous, des fois, on
buy
ne s'exprime
something.
pas, on garde.
Sometimes we don't express ourselves and keep
On
it.
garde, peut-être on prie, peut-être on
Maybe we
pleure.
pray or we
You
cry.
wish to have. Des fois, tu demandes à tes parents, même tout
Sometimes
en étant
ask your
marié.
Parents,
Mais
being
les
married,
hommes, ils parlent, mettent la pression.
yet men, they
Quand
put
tu n'as pas
pressure
préparé bien.
when you didn't cook well.
Mais chez nous, on préparait comme
But
ça.
at my place,
Ma
we
mère
used to cook.
préparait comme ça.
My mother used to
En
cook.
aucun cas, une femme peut dire à son
Yet
mari,
never a
moi,
woman
mon
will
père
say
me
no.
payait les habits chaque fin
My
du mois.
father used to buy me
Never.
clothes every end of the month.
Il y a que les hommes qui viennent. Non,
Only
là, tu
men.
n'as pas bien préparé.
No, you didn't cook well.
Maman préparait comme ça.
My mother cooked this way.
Je ne vais pas citer les noms. Une femme me dit, maman,
Alors,
comment tu avais préparé
know.
ça? Mon mari m'appelle pour me dire, ah maman, fais
Mama,
seulement
how did
ça.
you cook it? My husband is asking me to ask you.
With that particular incident with the other friend, that's one thing. I believe that if you like somebody else, don't put pressure. Create what they have. If you can't afford it, let it be something similar, but at your own expense. You'll, but not in such a way. But, I see women that are so under pressure that she wants to dress. I mean, she wants to shop at Zara, but her husband can't afford Zara. She wants to, well, H&M. She wants to shop at H&M, but her husband can't afford H&M and stuff like that. Now, as a woman, I really believe that you can help your husband. You know, don't try to put unnecessary pressure. It be in terms of what.
Non, des fois, si tu me montres pas ton argent,
Sometimes if you don't show me
I
your
don't
money,
really know how much you get at the end of the month. I don't know. You have your card, you have your PIN code, whatever, and then month end. Every morning, you go to work. I cook for you. So at the end of the month, je dois avoir l'argent.
I need to get some
Et
money.
je vais te dire, j'ai envie de payer une robe à
And I
Zara.
wanna tell you, no, I wanna buy a
Si
dress
je ne sais
from
pas
Zara.
combien tu gagnes, je ne peux
If
pas
I don't
t'amener à
know how
Mr.
much you earn,
Price.
I can't go to Mr. Price.
Je ne peux pas t'amener à Jet.
I
Yeah.
can't go
Bon, moi,
get
je sais
to
que tu
Jet,
travailles.
Yeah. But
because I know that you're working.
I think that's again another subject in financial transparency, because I mean there are certain men that in the way they've grown, again the question of culture, they told you that the wife must never know how much you are earning, you know.
Why?
You know, but I mean we are we are living in a society whereby anything can happen. You know, in those days, I don't know for what reason they did it, but in these days, we have wives that husband will pass away and she doesn't even know the PIN code
Yeah.
to the card just to access even 500 rand, you know, or even buy kids milk for money that is available before we get to deal with the will, before we get to deal with everything, just whatever that was on the account. I really believe that financial transparency is quite important. So everybody's always on the same page. You are always facing your own trials. Listen, this is how much we're making, and I don't think we can be able to afford so.
Yeah.
And if there's any need for certain expenses to be cut down, it is not like, because there are certain women that will say, "Oh, my husband is very stingy," only to know that the husband has nothing. You assume that, well, he goes to work every day. He goes to work every day without understanding that the car he drives is on credit. The cell phone he has is on credit. The whatever. So you're trying to assume that, oh my goodness, he just bought a new phone without knowing that maybe it was an upgrade and stuff like that. So if those kind of clarity are not there, it will always create that type of things where now you begin to create unnecessary. You see your friends, they travel to Europe for holidays, and then you come, husband, what are you doing? You know, all the friends are traveling, you know, and so you have to really be, you know, and that's one thing that I
Des
believe.
fois aussi, ce n'est pas seulement payer quelque chose de cher.
Sometimes it's not just
Juste
about buying
penser
something expensive,
seulement.
just to think
Des fois, on ne
about
demande
it.
pas beaucoup.
Sometimes we don't ask
Je sais
much.
que tu n'as pas beaucoup d'argent,
I
oui.
know you don't have
Bon,
much.
j'ai passé quelque part, j'ai vu le
but I
perpète.
was passing somewhere
Donc,
and
j'ai
saw some
pensé à
nice
toi
sleep,
et je te prends
shoes.
ça.
So I thought
On ne peut pas
about it.
commencer à demander en passant par les enfants. Pour
I
ceux-là
can't
qui
be
ont des
asking,
enfants, bien
passing
sûr.
through children,
Donc, bien seulement attendre birthday, Christmas, ou New
waiting
Year,
for the
whatever.
birthday or the
Ou bien
Christmas
tu
and
viens
all that, so
d'accoucher,
that you can
maintenant on te
ask
fait un gift.
something
Non.
to get a gift.
Les mamans recevaient les super. C'est comme ça que les
No,
mamans
our
accouchaient
mothers used
10
to
enfants.
get,
Parce qu'elle va avoir 10
nice-
super. Mais
Nice clothes. so
juste
they
en
had a lot of
passant
kids.
un petit truc, même crayon de maquillage.
You know, just
J'ai vu ça, j'ai payé pour toi.
here and there,
Ça va
you
tout
saw this
droit au
and you
cœur,
got
je
this. Just
t'assure.
go straight to the heart.
Demain, je vais faire la recette de ta
You know,
mère.
I'll just do that nice recipe of your mother just
Mais
because
si
you bought
je dois
me that
toujours
little thing.
demander, bon, je
But
vais
if I
dire,
have to ask you,
est-ce que cet homme m'aime vraiment?
I'll question
Pourquoi je
myself,
dois
do you
toujours
really
demander? Il doit quand même
love
penser
me?
à moi.
Do I have to ask all the time or
Même
does
si
he
je
have
ne
to think
demande
about
pas,
me? Even if I don't
Même
ask,
si c'est quelque chose de jets,
even if it's something
je
from
vais
Jay,
garder ça
I'll
jalousement.
keep it
Donc,
with all my heart.
j'étais dans tes pensées
I was in
au
your
moment où tu
thought
marchais.
as you were walking.
But what do you say about women that? Okay, I am talking from the perspective of women. You'll talk from the perspective of men.
Yeah.
But what do you say about a girl whose father could afford her the best. And then she gets married to this guy that really loves her, but she can't afford what her father could afford her. Now she has developed great taste for class, for expensive stuff, and then you bring Jet's T-shirt, while our father could afford a Ralph Lauren T-shirt and stuff. So you put it on the table and say, "Hey, baby, look at what I brought to you." And now he's like, "What is this?"
Non, là, je pense que ça dépend d'une personne. Nous, les femmes, on aime avec tout. On aime, l'amour est là.
As women, we love with all.
C'est
The
pas
Lord
question que mon père avait beaucoup
It's not
d'argent,
about what my father had.
mais si tout ce que tu fais, tu le fais avec amour,
But if all that you do it with
elle va
love,
prendre sans
she
problème.
would take it with no.
Mais s'il y a quelque
regret.
chose, tu caches déjà,
But if there's something that you
il n'y a pas la
hiding,
transparence,
there's no transparency,
et tu veux peut-être la prouver que c'est chez vous qu'il y avait l'argent. Ici, c'est le mariage.
and you want to prove to her that
Là,
at your
c'est comme
place
si tu
you
veux
used
la
to have
forcer à
money and yet
accepter
there's
la
no
vie que
money.
tu veux la proposer.
You want to force her to accept the
Mais
kind
quand
of
tu la
life.
fais voir la réalité,
But if you make her see
je
the
sais que ton père
reality,
avait ça. Mais moi, je
I
connais les
know.
filles qui ont eu beaucoup d'argent,
I know some women that
mais
had
les
lots
hommes
money,
qu'elles ont épousés, ça ne compare même pas.
yet the men they get married
À l'argent
to
que leur
could not
père
even
recevait.
compare to.
Mais elle te
The
dit, à
money
cause
that
de l'amour,
she
je
had
laisse
from
pas
love.
cet homme.
But she said, because of love,
Je vais
I'm not
rester
leaving
avec
this
cet
man.
homme.
I will stay with this man.
L'amour que tu la donnes,
The love that you give to her,
l'attention que tu la donnes,
the
l'affection
affection
que tu la donnes,
that you're giving her,
elle peut oublier tout.
can make her
les
forget about
histoires
all
qu'elle
the
recevait chez ses
classy
parents
and the high things she
et
received from her
prendre le
parents,
peu que tu l'offres.
and take the
C'est
small you're
question
giving
d'amour
her.
et comment tu les fais.
It's all about love and the way you're doing
Tu peux
it.
pas seulement m'aimer quand tu as besoin de moi.
You can't just love me when you
L'amour
need
doit
me,
être permanent.
but love has to be
Tu
permanent.
sors, tu m'appelles,
You're going out, you let
un
me
petit
know.
SMS,
A
ça
small
coûte rien.
SMS. It doesn't
Ça,
cost
le
you
père
much.
ne donnait pas.
The father did not give
Mais
me
si
that.
toi tu la donnes ça,
But when you give
ça
that to her,
comble.
it's really stick
Donc
to
nous, ce
her.
n'est pas l'argent,
It all is not about money.
c'est l'affection qui comble.
It's more about
Maintenant, il faut
affection.
savoir comment tu donnes cette
So you
affection-là.
need to know how to give that affection.
Il ne faut pas être trop mécanique
You shouldn't be too mechanical
dans m'imposer la vie. Non.
to impose life
Je
on
sais,
her.
je t'avais aimé comme ça, il n'y avait
I
rien.
know that I loved you. You were like this.
Mais
with
on
nothing.
doit participer
But we
ensemble.
need to participate.
On doit participer
We
ensemble.
need to be in
La
it
faire
all
voir
together.
que moi je t'aime, je sais qu'un jour,
To
on
let
va
her
y
know
arriver
that
là-bas.
I love you
Tes
and one
parents
day we'll
n'avaient
be
rien,
there.
mais
Your parents
s'ils ont
had
ce qu'ils ont
nothing,
aujourd'hui
if
parce
they
qu'ils ont
had
travaillé,
something
ta mère
because they
était
work
là.
hard and your
Mais si
mother
tu
was
la
there.
fais pas voir toutes ces
But if
histoires-là,
you don't make her see those
tu
things,
commences à t'énerver parce qu'elle te demande
you
quelque
begin to
chose.
get nervous every time she asks
Là,
you
c'est un
something.
problème.
Then it becomes a problem.
And that's how I really believe that as well. It's quite important that your reality at your parents' house will not always be the reality in your marriage.
Yeah.
As when you come as two people in marriage, it can it for some people it's an upgrade, you know, from the slums to the palace, others from the palace to the slums, by this common commodity called love. You know, this lady who had everything, she leaves everything she had for someone who has nothing at all. And then for this man who had nothing and all of a sudden get married by grace into a most wealthiest family, and then right there, you know, it comes in with a starter package, 5-bedroom house, 4x4 car, or Range Rover, whatsoever. So it's a both take, but I really believe that the common trait has to be true love, because true love will really make sure that, you know, even if nothing is there, even if you can't eat, you know, you are happy. And I remember I did the gala this year, and I was having a discussion with my dad, and I asked him, say, you know, what was going through your mind when you had nothing, and nothing to the point that you don't even have what to wear, You know, so it is one thing to have nothing and you know that tomorrow I have clothes and stuff, but nothing to the point that if something happened to your pants today, tomorrow you're gonna go work in whatever women way, you know, and stuff like that. So that then was able to answer in terms of, you know, they loved each other, and then the love they had for one another bypassed the challenges that they were facing. So I really believe that when true love is there, you can be able to go through the worst and get through the best. You know. So moving to another conversation, and this comes with dealing with complex. There are some husbands that have complex. There are some wives that have complex. Some inferiority complex, some superiority complex. They always want to be bossy, you know. And most of the time, there are some husbands that did not study a lot, and the wife is way too educated, have everything in life, and there are other cases where the husband is way too achieved in life, and the wife does not have so much. Maybe cannot even speak proper French and stuff like that. And I really believe that, again, the trait of love will help you be patient with a person, and by grace and by time be able to upgrade a person into your standard. And I really believe that you should not always feel inferior or superior toward your wife or your husband, even when you are the head. Jesus said, the scripture we read in Ephesians chapter 5 on Sunday, it says that the husband is the head. But just because the head is on top, the head does not feel superior to the rest of the body. Because if the head had no body, had no shoulder on which to rest, this head will be on the floor. So it is because of the body that the head is where it is. So therefore, it becomes very important that everybody understand their role, understand their position, and get to work and function within their position without trying to be somebody else or even look for validation. Because I really believe that sometimes that becomes a major problem. When you get home, your wife must stand. You know, when you are leaving, everybody must say, okay, goodbye, sir, goodbye, sir. And the day they forget it, it's like they did not respect you. So it becomes quite an important thing to deal with. And some other women, no matter what you do for them as well, they always feel inferior. You bring them in a circle of friends, they feel inferior. But you should not be feeling... I mean, if I bring her in a circle of people that I meet, whether those people are way ahead of us than ourselves, the fact that she's with me, she's already at the same level. Whether she can speak English or can't speak English, she's already at my level. And she should not feel complexed because of where she is, because we are together. It is one body that we are representing. And that is always the image and the concept of love that everybody must carry.
Je pense que la plupart des femmes
most of women
qui ont les problèmes de complexe d'infériorité,
there's this problem of inferiority.
Des fois, c'est dû au type de mari qu'ils ont.
Most often is deal with the type of men they have.
Si tu as un mari qui ne sait jamais t'encourager,
if you have a husband who never encourages
si
you,
tout ce que tu fais lui voit qu'il y a le mal en toi,
everything that you do, he always sees
et ça
the
reste,
bad in you. He always
ça reste dedans de toi.
in your heart.
Donc même quand tu es parmi les gens,
So even when you're among
tu as même
people,
peur de s'exprimer, de peur qu'ils disent
you're
OK.
afraid to express yourself for him to say something wrong.
Même quand tu t'habilles bien,
Or even when you dress up well,
il te donne pas des éloges.
it doesn't give you the appreciation.
Donc il fait que voir, tu as vu l'autre là, elle était bien
Always
habillée.
say, did you see
L'autre,
that
elle
one?
était
She
bien
was
habillée.
really dressed up well.
Mais il
No,
t'a jamais dit
yet
quelque
he
chose de
never
bien.
say something nice
Et
to
ça,
you.
ça crée ce complexe d'infériorité
And
chez les
it
femmes.
create that complex of
Des fois, même si on dit, OK, tu dois amener quelque chose de bon dedans de toi,
Sometimes you will bring something good
mais tout en
within
étant
you,
un couple,
but being a
tu as besoin
couple,
que ton mari te dise quelque
you
chose.
also need your husband to say
Et ça va
something,
t'encourager,
and that
ça va
will
te donner le
encourage you
poids d'avancer.
and give you the strength
Même
to
si
move
les gens
forward.
de l'extérieur ne te disent rien,
Even when people from
mais
outside
si
don't
lui
say
au
anything,
moins
But if he can,
il peut te dire quelque chose parce que là, il devient comme ton père,
because they become like
il
your
est comme ton
father,
grand frère.
become like your older
Et
brother.
quand tu reçois une éloge venant de chez lui,
And if you receive something like an
et
appreciation
tu
from
penses,
him,
tu te dis vraiment là, j'ai bien fait.
you say, I did well,
Là, j'ai bien préparé.
I cooked well.
Mais si tout ce que tu fais,
But if all that
lui
you
ne
do,
voit que les faiblesses.
you always see the weakness.
Donc, même si tu l'amènes quelque part,
Even if you take her somewhere,
elle aura ces peurs-là au-dedans d'elle.
she'll have that fear in
C'est comme
her.
un enfant à la maison qu'on frappe tout le temps.
It's like a child that they beat
Même
every
si
day
vous
at
l'amenez
home.
là, il y a beaucoup des enfants.
Even when you take them in a
Elle
place
aura
where there's a lot
toujours
of
peur là,
kids,
on va me frapper si je mange.
they will say no,
On
they
va
will
me
beat
frapper
me if
si
I
je
eat.
fais ça.
They'll beat me if I do
Donc,
this.
les hommes doivent apprendre à apprécier leurs femmes
So men must learn to
dans
appreciate
les petites choses
wives
comme dans des grandes choses.
in small and big
Et une
things.
chose que les femmes haïssent,
And the things that women
c'est
hate
les comparer à d'autres femmes.
is to compare them to others.
Chaque femme est unique.
Every woman is just unique.
Elle est unique.
She's unique.
Donc,
Oh,
quand
the brother didn't say amen.
devait say amen. We are unique. Chacun est unique.
Everyone is unique.
Chacun a ses goûts.
Everyone has their own taste.
Donc, quand tu vas commencer à la comparer,
When you begin to
un
compare
jour elle te
her,
dira, va alors vers l'autre là.
you say, then you should go to that one.
Et ça crée ces complexes-là
And
d'infériorité.
that creates that complex of inferiority.
Mais avec les femmes,
But with women,
elles savent couvrir.
they know how to cover.
Même si son mari n'a pas étudié.
Even if the
Elle
husband
peut
did
même
not
mentir à
study.
ses parents que mon mari a
She can
étudié.
even lie to the parent that my husband
Parce
studied.
qu'il y a cet amour-là.
Because there is that love.
Et ça ne fait rien d'épouser un homme qui n'a pas étudié pour
And
elle.
means nothing for her to marry a
Elle va
man
couvrir, elle va
that did
faire
not
tout ce
study.
qu'elle peut faire.
She can cover and do all that she
Mais
can.
les hommes, des fois,
But men sometimes,
une fois ils montent les escaliers,
once they move one step
elle reste à
ahead
la maison,
and she
chercher
stay back
maintenant les
home,
collègues avec qui il a fini.
she begins to look for the colleague. He
Dans
finished
les
work.
réunions, tu pars avec tes collègues,
In
elle
the
reste à la maison.
meeting, you go with your colleagues and she stay home.
Donc, il faut apprendre à l'amener avec.
So you must learn to
C'est
carry
toi qui
her
dois
along.
donner ses poids à elle.
You're the one who should bring the weight on her,
Et ça va tuer ces complexes-là.
and that will kill that complex.
You see, yeah, awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much. You
Awesome.
did well. You better do that.
You know, it's awesome. Just to say, to add up to what you says, there are some men that find it difficult to compliment their wives.
Yeah.
Just say, "Hey, you look beautiful today. Oh, I like how that thing looks." But these are people that will compliment strangers and even
Yeah.
write poems,
An
you
ex.
know, on a complete person that they don't even know, or colleague. Whenever they do something, you always mention it and stuff like that, but never do such to his wife. And then now your wife is growing so insecure because she has never heard any positive comments. And if you'll have to open your mouth to say anything, will be, you didn't do this right. Look at your eyebrows. Look at your friends. Look at your friends. Look at your friends. And today with Instagram, all you do is look at how people are doing it, and you draw it as if, I mean, you see, so it's a big problem. But I really believe that as well. There's a nice way to empower your wife without having to offend her. I like how they did the eyebrows the other day. Can they teach you how to do it and stuff like that? So you don't make it sound like the way she does it is bad, but she also appreciates how others have done it. So you empower that, into her life, and then that becomes something important. But at the same time, it comes to something as well with. If you want to have a secure man, have a secure husband, you make sure that you appreciate and you compliment every effort they make. There are some women that will never compliment their husbands. They will always tell how their husband is useless, how their husband is, he does nothing, we just sit here, he eats my money, blah, blah, blah. But even for the little efforts they have, and that's how you have some men that becomes very defensive, in their marriages, simply because the wife is way too educated and the husband did not study so much and sometimes even does not have a job. And then now the husband, to enforce his authority as a man, he wants now to begin to beat the woman. But she does a small thing, you beat the woman. She does a small, you beat the woman. Trying to enforce your authority. But one person says, if you have to beat a woman to make sure or to make her feel like that you have authority, you have lost authority a long time ago. So that is, I really believe that is important. But moving to the, yeah.
Et puis, ces complexes d'infériorité,
The complex of inferiority
ça vient quand il y a aussi ces distances.
comes as well when you get distant to
Il y
each other.
a une femme qui a dit, quand tu sèmes la distance,
There's this woman who said, when you sow distance,
tu vas récolter l'oubli.
you will harvest the
Forgetfulness.
forgetfulness.
Donc, comment est-ce que ces distances-là viennent?
How does the distance comes?
Chacun est dans son coin.
Everyone is in odd corner.
Tu te dis, je suis le boss,
You say, I'm the boss.
donc tu n'as rien à me reprocher.
There's nothing that you can
Donc,
tell
tout ce que
me or
tu fais là,
reproach
c'est au
me.
top.
Everything you do is
Toi,
on
tu
top.
sais tout.
You know everything.
Et on te laisse dans ces distances-là.
And they leave you in that distance.
On est super avec les distances.
You are super with distance.
Donc, il faut des fois accepter les remarques.
So sometimes you need to accept the remarks.
Il y a certaines... Les femmes ont cette... c'est pas... Je sais pas comment expliquer. Ils ont ce sentiment-là de voir certaines choses de loin.
Women have that sensitivity to see things from
Oui, elles
afar.
sont tellement sensibles.
They're so sensitive.
Et des fois, les hommes pensent que les femmes en font trop.
That sometimes men think that they're doing wrong.
Ils ont cette sensation-là, même s'il y a un mal qui va arriver,
They have
elle
that
peut te dire
sensitivity
aujourd'hui,
to say that
tu peux nier,
today
dire non, tu en fais trop. Et 2 semaines, c'est
you're
beaucoup, la
doing
chose va
wrong,
arriver.
But 2 weeks after, you see that thing
Et
happening.
quand des fois, tu ne sais pas te plier,
Sometimes
dire
when
des
you
fois
don't know
oui
how to
et
accept and to
accepter
say
à ces
yes
remarques.
and to listen to a
Et il y a des
reproach,
fois ces combats qui viennent.
there's some other
Les combats qui viennent.
fight that comes.
Et pas parce qu'elle ne veut pas te congratuler.
Not because she wants to
Elle te
congratulate
laisse
you,
seulement dans tes
but she
histoires-là.
just leave you in
Que
those
tu
things.
fasses du bien,
For you to do
que
those
tu fasses
good,
du mal.
for you to do the
Elle te
bad,
regarde.
she'll just look at you.
Et ça crée encore des incompréhensions.
And that creates more
Et ces complexes-là, ça
misunderstanding.
grandit encore.
And that complex even grow.
Et c'est difficile que les gens sortent même ensemble.
And it become even difficult for both to go out the same
Alors, des
time.
fois, il faut se laisser faire. Tu as raison, oui, laisse-toi faire.
So sometimes you are right here, just let go.
Et je pense que ça aide aussi.
And I believe that it helps.
I also want to say something is that women, when the husband is working, don't feel like it's his money. It's your money too. I'll say it again. When the husband is working and you don't work, don't feel complex to ask him something and say, anyway, it's his money. By the time you are married, it becomes your money.
Mais est-ce qu'il faut toujours demander tout le temps?
Do we always have to ask?
But at the same,
No.
listen.
No.
But it's there are times that the husband will think of you in a special way and stuff like that, and there are sometimes that you want something, you can ask.
Si déjà tu ne la donnes pas accès à ta carte.
If you can't even give her access to your card,
Les pays ici, c'est les banques. C'est pas comme au
this
Congo,
country is
mettez
all
l'argent
about
dans la
banks.
maison.
It's not like you
L'argent est
have
dans
cash
la
all
caisse, tu
around.
sais, entre là-bas, tu vas trouver l'argent.
It's not like you go and say, take some
Et
money
il faut
there.
tout le temps
No.
demander,
You
je vais
always
payer
have to
ça,
ask,
donne-moi,
no,
je
I
vais
want
payer
to
ça,
buy.
donne-moi.
Can I have?
Des fois, on te laisse penser aussi, n'est-ce pas?
Sometimes they leave you think.
Oui, c'est toi
But
qui
there are
travailles.
some other women as well. You give them a card, and they feel like it's not money until it's cash. You know, so that becomes a problem. Because if I give you the card, it's just a matter of you telling me that, okay, I need this and that. Can I be able to buy it? Can I go buy it?
Bon, dis-moi, dans la carte, c'est pas 10 000 rents.
Tell me, like in the card, you have
Si
like,
tu peux
I don't know,
dépenser, tu peux
10,000.
dépenser jusqu'à c'est pas 5 000,
If you
6
want
000.
to spend up
Si
to
tu
like
me dis pas ce
5,000.
qu'il y a,
But
et
if
c'est
you don't tell me what
l'opportunité
you
que
have,
tu me donnes ta carte,
but
qu'est-ce
you
que je
give me
dois
that
faire?
opportunity to have your card,
Yeah, swap,
then I will
swap.
just swap
Parce
and
que je
swap.
sais pas combien il y a à
Because I don't know how
l'intérieur.
much you have.
But there's something about women as well. If they ask you 200, you give them 500, they will never bring the change.
Oui, parce que tellement il y avait beaucoup de choses à
Because
payer.
there's a lot of things
There's
that I have
always
to
something
Il y
buy.
more to
avait
buy.
beaucoup de choses à payer
There's so many things to
et
buy.
tu n'avais pas l'argent.
Yet you didn't have
Voilà, on
money.
te donne
So
500.
they give you
Tu payes même ce qu'il
500.
fallait payer pour la semaine
The
prochaine.
husband
you
is
buy even
thinking
what you
that
need to
the
buy
husband
next
is
week.
thinking that I give you 500, so even the future needs you don't spend now, but when tomorrow you need some more money, you go buy instead of coming back.
Non, on a un problème de remplir les provisions.
You know, we have that problem of
Donc
have
quand tu as l'argent, il
provision.
faut payer toutes les histoires dans la
When
maison.
you have money, you buy all that you need.
But I guess you
Mais
have
si tu as l'argent fréquemment,
But if you have money
tu
most
vas
often,
gérer.
you know how
Mais
to
si on te
manage
donne
it.
l'argent une fois par mois,
But
et
if they
c'est
give you money
combien?
once a month, and how
Les besoins ont
much?
débordé
So there's a
et
lot of
l'offre
need,
devient petite.
and the budget is too small.
Donc il faut faire bien un programme.
So you need to have a proper
S'il y a que
program.
l'homme qui paye la viande, il paye.
If
Les
the man is the
poivrons,
one
il
to
paye.
buy
So,
the
et les
meat,
femmes
he
en quoi?
buys, then what's the purpose of the wife?
Si elle travaille pas, elle n'a
If
pas
she
la
doesn't
carte.
work, she doesn't
Donc
have the
s'il faut
card.
faire les
If
groceries,
she has to do groceries,
ok, on part ensemble à
let's
Cosmo
go
City.
together to Cosmo
No.
City. No.
Donc c'est 500 rentes que tu la donnes,
In the 700 that you
elle peut se
give
payer
her,
la poudre.
she can buy maybe the powder,
Même si elle a demandé pour la tomate.
even if she asks for tomatoes.
Donc il faut apprendre à faire les choix.
You need to learn to
Par
make
hasard, laisse
choices.
même beaucoup d'argent avec des excès.
Sometimes just leave money in
Si elle ne te
excess.
donne pas, dis-toi qu'elle a payé autre
If she
chose.
didn't give back, then tell yourself that she bought something for herself.
But at the same time, I believe that there has to be a balance to that as well. Is that not every time they give you money, you have to spend it all. Sometimes you have to use the wisdom of Joseph. 7 years of fruitfulness and 7 years of famine. So you don't know what tomorrow is coming. It might be that 100 rand that will save you, tomorrow. And especially when you have kids, the last thing you want to have is a bank account that is empty, and in the middle of the night, he wants milk, she wants milk. I tell you, you will go sell your shoe to the petrol guy, trying to get all that.
Je pense que ça dépend de la transparence du
I
mari.
think it all depends on the transparency of the husband.
Si tu sais quand est-ce qu'il traverse les moments de sécheresse
If you know when he's going through dry
et quand
season
est-ce qu'il y a la pluie dans la maison.
or when there is rain in the house.
Donc, qui est la pluie, qui est la sécheresse, toi, tu ne sais
If
pas.
there is rain or dryness, you just don't know.
Même si elle a l'argent, elle ne va jamais te donner.
Even if he has money, he will never give you.
Il y a des femmes qui gardent leur argent.
There's some women that keep their money.
Bon, si le mari est dans la saison de sécheresse,
If the husband is going through
elle va
drought,
garder son argent jusqu'à ce que tu enlèves ton argent.
she will keep her money until you take out
Mais
yours.
s'il y a la transparence,
But if there is
elle
transparency,
peut te sauver, elle peut payer pour toi les
she
transports.
can save you, even pay
God
for your
bless the godly
transport.
women.
Donc, la transparence,
So transparency.
pour que la femme ait pitié du côté de l'argent,
For a woman to have that good heart toward
tout
money,
dépend du mari.
it depends on the,
Comment
man,
tu
the
la
husband.
traites, comment tu la gères avec
How do you
l'argent.
treat her? How do you manage her with your money?
Comment tu la fais confiance avec ton
How do you
argent.
trust her with the money
Si
you
tu la
earn?
fais pas confiance,
If you don't trust
et les
her,
jours elle voit ça,
and the day she
elle va
sees it,
abuser.
she will abuse of it.
C'est comme un enfant qui est tout le temps enfermé.
It's like a child who's
Et les
always
jours qu'elle
in
sort
the
dehors, elle
house.
voit le
The
soleil.
day he goes
Elle va aller
outside,
pour ne plus rentrer.
he'll just go to never come back.
Alors, la confiance, question
So,
argent, donc la
The
transparence.
trust and the transparency.
Je gagne ça, c'est moi on garde
You
pour
gain
faire
it.
ça.
This month we keep, we
Même si
save
tu la
this
donnes
much.
500, elle va garder 200.
Even if you give her 500,
Et
she'll
demain,
keep the
elle ne va
200.
pas te demander l'argent de
And
poche.
tomorrow she won't ask you for the pocket
Parce
money
qu'elle a
or
gardé
the
un peu.
allowance, because she
Mais si
kept,
tu
she
es
saved
alpha
something.
oméga dans ton argent,
But if you are the alpha and the omega
et
in
c'est
your
comme ça, il y a
money,
les femmes qui volent même
that's
l'argent.
how there's some women that begin to steal.
Tu fais tes bêtises, moi aussi je prends mon argent, je pars faire mes
You
histoires.
do your nonsense. I also take money and go do my
Donc,
other
c'est
things.
question de transparence, surtout
It's
chez
all
les hommes.
about transparency, especially from men.
Ok?
Okay, we'll take one. I want us to talk about something that you've mentioned, but this deals with insecurities. From the side of men, you've mentioned that women often has an advanced sense of what do you call it? An advanced
Prediction.
sense of prediction, or they see far. But men can perceive that as insecurity. Example, you're at work and there's this lady that just got hired at your work, and the way she talks to you, and then one day your wife comes to the office, nothing going on between the two of you, but she just sees the way the woman is, and then she tells you, I don't want you to talk to that lady. So from the side of men, you'll be like, what is going on? She's not even been here for 2 days and you already have a problem with her. And then from the side of men, we often feel like women are insecure, where they're trying to tell you that be careful with that woman or be careful with that lady, or so and so and so. But how do you justify, or how do you balance that insecurity versus warning or prediction?
Ok. Dans la Bible, Dieu avait parlé à Adam
God spoke
de
to
ne pas
Adam
manger le fruit.
not to eat the fruit,
Adam a parlé à la femme.
and Adam spoke to the woman.
Et quand Ève va parler au serpent,
And when Eve spoke to the
quand elle est rentrée
serpent,
vers l'homme,
and she went back to the man,
finalement ils sont arrivés à manger les fruits.
they end up eating the fruit.
Ils ont mangé.
They ate
Parce que la femme avait mangé,
because the woman
elle a
ate.
vu que c'était bon.
She saw that it was
Elle est
good,
partie convaincre.
and
Et
she
son
went to
souci,
convince. And
Il
our
fallait que l'homme
worries
mange aussi.
was for the men to
Si
eat
une
of
femme
it.
aime quelque chose,
If a woman
elle finira
likes
par
something,
avoir,
she'll end up having
vouloir ou pas.
it, liking it or not.
Tu peux avoir une collègue,
You can have a colleague,
si elle t'aime,
if she loves you,
elle va réunir tous ses moyens
she will do all she can
pour te séduire.
to seduce you.
Et un jour, tu vas te dire, je ne sais pas comment je suis
And
arrivée
one day
là-bas.
you just say, I just don't know how I end up like that.
Je ne sais pas comment je suis arrivée
I
là-bas.
just don't know how I end up
Je ne
this
sais
way.
pas ce qui m'a pris.
I don't know what took me.
Alors nous,
So for us,
sachant ces principes,
knowing that principle,
la force tranquille
that quiet strength in us,
en nous, ça donne cette insécurité-là.
it gives us that insecurity.
Le mari n'est pas ou n'est pas savoir, peut
The
ou n'est pas
husband knowing or
savoir
not even knowing
les
about
choses qui
it,
se
Or
passent.
even have an intention to do
Même
anything.
s'il n'a pas l'intention
even
de
if
faire
he
quoi que
doesn't
ce
have
soit.
the intention to
Mais
do
si
anything,
elle a l'intention
but
d'avoir
if
cet
that
homme,
woman has the intention to have the man,
elle peut réunir tout.
she can bring all together.
Et les hommes,
And men,
des fois, ça vient vite.
it just comes so fast.
Il ne va pas se rendre compte
You won't realize it.
comment il est arrivé là-bas.
How he end up like that.
Alors, des fois, on prévient.
So most
C'est
of the
comme un
time
vaccin, on
we
donne.
want to prevent that to happen.
Tu n'es pas préparé à ça,
You are not ready for
mais
that.
cette persistance-là,
But that persistence
qu'elle va garder,
that she will keep,
si tu ne fais pas attention,
if you don't pay
tu peux
attention,
arriver dans ces points-là.
you end up in a net.
Ce n'est pas qu'on est dans l'insécurité,
It's not that we are insecure.
c'est question qu'on aime
It's that when we
et on
love,
veut sauver.
we want to save.
But is it? How do you make a distinction between insecurity and trying to warn your husband? Because there are some women, it is not just about a woman having intention. It's just they don't want her husband to talk with anybody at all.
Ça dépend comment est ton mari.
It depends on how your husband behaves.
Et tu sais combien je te fais confiance.
But you know how much I trust you.
Ça dépend du mari.
It depends on the husband.
Si tu sais que
If you know that
lui là,
that
il ne peut
man
pas résister,
can resist,
là tu deviens dans
so there
l'insécurité.
you are insecure.
Tu as peur.
You are afraid.
Il dit, lui, quand ça vient au
No,
McDonald's,
for
il ne peut
him,
pas
when
s'en
it comes to
passer.
McDonald's, he just have to eat.
Là, tu deviens dans
So you
l'insécurité.
become insecure.
Partout, il va passer, il va voir McDonald's, il va aller
Everywhere you
manger.
pass by, you see McDonald's, he will stop.
Là, tu dois te rassurer qu'il doit manger
So
le
you
matin,
need to
il doit manger à
assure that
midi, il
he
doit
eats
manger
in
le
the
soir.
morning and at lunchtime and at dinner time.
La confiance que tu as dans ton mari,
The trust you have in your husband.
il y a des fois quand il y a l'insécurité,
Though sometimes you are so insecure,
tu vois comment il behave.
you just look at his
Quel type de
behavior,
personnalité qu'il a.
the personality he
C'est
has.
un homme intègre,
Is it an
c'est
integral
un homme de
man?
parole.
Is it a man of
Si
his
tu es un
word?
homme de parole,
If you are a man of
tu es un homme
word,
intègre,
you are
tu n'as
integral.
pas intérêt d'être jalouse.
So the woman won't be jealous.
Tu n'as pas intérêt d'être dans l'insécurité.
She won't have that
Tout ce
insecurity.
que tu peux lui dire, fais attention avec cette fille.
All that you will do is to just warn
Ses
him
intentions ne sont pas bonnes.
that intention of the woman is
Et
not
si c'est
good.
un homme honnête,
But if an
un jour il te
honest
dira,
man
oui, il m'avait fait un
will say, you
SMS.
know, actually she wrote to me this day,
Là, tu lui préviens.
there you warn him.
Parce que si quelque chose de mauvais arrive,
Because if something bad happened to
ça ne sera
him,
pas sa honte,
it won't be his
ça
shame,
sera notre honte.
but it will be our shame.
Là, on prévient.
They we are warned.
Un homme honnête,
An honest
un
man,
homme de parole,
a man of
on
his word,
prévient. On
We
les
warn.
rappelle
we remind
de
him
quoi la femme est capable.
of what a woman can do.
La femme est capable de tout si elle aime.
A woman is able to do anything
Elle peut
when she
même crier
loves.
que tu l'as violée au moment où tu n'as rien
She
fait.
can even shout that you raped her
Et
even when
quand
you
si elle
didn't
te
do
dit je
anything.
vais crier, maintenant tu rentres, non, on ne crie pas, on
So
part.
when you say no, I want to shout, you say no, don't shout, let's go.
Parce qu'elle voulait tout ce qu'elle voulait.
Because she wanted all she wants.
Alors les femmes jalouses, bon, il y a des femmes jalouses aussi.
So there's also women that are jealous.
Même là où il n'y a rien,
Even when there's
elle en fait un
nothing,
problème.
she makes it of a
C'est
problem.
à l'homme
It's to the
de la
man
montrer
to show
que je ne
her
suis pas là-bas.
that I'm not there.